Hello, welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz, and this is episode 141 of What's in My Tumbler. We are starting off with Sardonyx. Sardonyx is currently in stage 2, going into stage 3. So same as we do all the time. I don't really have any updates. I know sometimes I talk about stuff that's going on, but hey, how did everybody survive the ice storm that came through? We were good here. We had one tree that had a branch fall. It was a branch we were planning on taking out anyway, so saved us some work. But otherwise, it's just really cold. Especially for where I live, it does not get very cold here often, so it's freezing. Anyway, so the Sardonyx, we gave it a rinse. This is just going to do an inspection, see if anything's chipped or broken. Because if it is, we want to take it out so it doesn't damage anything else. Everything actually does look good here, so I don't need to take anything out. I don't normally, when I do these inspections, it's very rare that I find something, but it's still important to do this and make sure, because at one sharp edge on a rock can ruin your whole batch. So you want to make sure, even after you're through with stage 1, that you inspect everything between stages and make sure everything is still smooth and nothing's going to cause you any issues. So now that that's done, we're going to add some water and do a soap cycle with ivory soap. And then this is going to go on the tumbler for a few hours. Normally, I just do a few hours. I got lazy and busy with work, so I actually didn't look at this until the next day. So this did tumble overnight in the soap, which is fine. Longer doesn't matter very much, but you can see it definitely needed that soap cycle. So once that's done, we are going to give it another good rinse. And at the end of this rinse, we're going to lose control of that sprayer and spray ourselves. That's an important part right there. You spray yourself, especially when it's below freezing outside and you're soaked through to your skin and have to go dump your slurry outside. That's amazing. Then we're going to put everything back in the barrel. It's a good fill, if not maybe a little fuller than most people would like. I'm fine with it. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of borax, 3 tablespoons of stage 3 grit. It's important to scatter the borax everywhere and not just in your barrel. You know. We're going to look at that and realize, yeah, we really need to replace that gasket soon. It's not sealing 100% all the way around. But we're going to ignore that for now and just put it back on the tumbler for another week. I do have another gasket. I just couldn't be bothered right now. All right, moving on to the Mozambique Agate. This is in stage 1 still. It is taking its sweet time, and that's fine. So we're going to give this a rinse. Then we're going to check and see if anything's ready for stage 2. I'm going to come back at the end, but I will say nothing here was ready for stage 2. A lot of pieces are really close. Like, really, really close. They've got just like the tiniest little crevice in there. But we are being patient with these rocks. So I'm being particular, and I'm not going to move things on yet. So nothing was ready for stage 2. Everything was needing a little bit more time. Okay, everything is done being sorted. So now we are going to add our water, a tablespoon of borax, 3 tablespoons of stage 1 grit, and then this is ready to go on the tumbler for another week. Probably should relabel the top of that, but I'm not going to. And Unakite. Unakite is also in stage 2, moving into stage 3. So we are going to do the same thing that we did with Sardonyx. We're going to dump it out and rinse it off. These are a lot bigger pieces than the Sardonyx, so there's not as many rocks in here. But it's still, you know, gotta inspect it, make sure nothing's chipped or broken. But it doesn't take as long to go through these as it does the Sardonyx because there's not as many pieces here because they're all bigger, which I actually kind of like. I do like that big square piece that's in there. But we're going to make sure nothing's chipped or broken, which it isn't. So now we are going to add some media because I didn't like how full that was. Then water and a tablespoon of ivory soap to do a wash cycle. And then this is going to go on the tumbler. Again, usually just a few hours, but it was overnight this week. And then after that, we are going to take it off the tumbler, noticing how gray those bubbles are. Again, really needed that bath. So we are going to rinse it off. This time not spraying ourselves because we were wet enough already. And put everything back in the barrel. I really need to replace some of my media. It's getting really tiny. After that, we are going to add more media because it wasn't as full as I would have liked now that it had all kind of mixed together. And we are going to put water, a tablespoon of borax, 3 tablespoons of stage 3 grit, and this is off for a week. Kind of excited. These two are going to be done in a couple weeks, so that's fun. I got to figure out what I'm going to put in next. I know I'm going to start my amethyst back up, but other than that, I don't know what I'm going to start. I have several big rocks I need to break up before I can use them, but it's too cold outside to use my saw to cut things up, so we're holding off on that. And finally, we have the dead camel jasper from the competition. This is my second string, so my second choice of rocks that are going to need a little bit more work, so I started them earlier. And we're just going to catch them or see how they're doing. And quite honestly, they're doing pretty good. They made some decent progress. Nothing's ready to move on, of course. I didn't expect any of it to be. But there is a lot of smoothing that happened. That piece right there looks better than I thought it would, but it's probably going to end up getting broken and then not used because I don't see it tumbling enough to be a finalist. So, but a lot of these pieces actually did pretty well, but none of them are ready to move on. There's a couple more rocks of my stage 2, my second string rocks went in there. So we're going to add some water, a tablespoon of borax, 3 tablespoons of stage 1 grit, and this is ready to go on the tumbler for another week. So thank you for joining me. I hope to see you all back next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think.